How you like, guys? This is Joey. I told you. I told you. I've been warning you. I've been warning you for how long have I had this channel for? I've been warning you. I warned you during the Cricket World Cup. I warned you after Glenn Maxwell ruined Afghanistan's perfect victory. I've been warning you about how they destroyed India's perfect fairy tale undefeated win at the Cricket World Cup. And I've been saying it before then, and I'll say it after it. And I'll probably be saying it for a long time. This team doesn't care about anyone else. They don't care about anybody else. It's all they care about is winning. I have had so I'm going to show you exactly why I think Australia is the most selfish team in all of cricket. Now, do I hate Australian people? No. Do I like the Big Bash League, even though it's in Australia? Yeah. My gripe, my problem is with the Australian cricket team. They need to be stopped. It's up to us to stop them. And I'm going to show you exactly why. I am broken and battered today. And I'm man enough to admit it. Man enough to admit it. But I'm going to show you exactly where I'm coming from. So we know exactly where my unhinged delusions come from. Let me show you. You see for yourself. We're going to cover these championships. The ICC Cricket World Cup 50 over competition, the 50 over Champions Trophy, the ICC World Test Championship, the U19 Men's Cricket World Cup, the Ashes against England, the T20 World Cup, the Women's 50 over Cricket World Cup, the ICC Awards, the Commonwealth Games, and the Women's T20 World Cup. We're going to cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not good at counting, but around 10. And I have a little trick up my sleeve just in case we get badly beaten here. Let's start with the Cricket World Cup. This is what originally led to my pure animosity towards this team. You start off with West Indies. That's cool. That's cool. India, Australia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Australia, India, Australia, England, Australia. 6 freaking times. 6 freaking times, buddy. Absolutely unbelievable. They absolutely destroyed what would have been a very, very fun World Cup. But let's not stop there. Let's go to the ICC Test Championship. Australia won the last edition of that, beating India. What is it with Australia and beating India? Oh, and then before that, you have Australia Junior, basically New Zealand. I have no gripe with them, but I will very fast. Hard to tell them apart. Then we'll go to the competition we just had. Australia beating India quite handily by 79 runs. I don't even want to get into the game. Yes, I saw the game. I knew the game was over by the 10th over, by the 10th Australian. But when Australia was batting in the 10th over, I knew it was over. Anyway, they've won it how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. Let's go to the Ashes. Who's the Ashes holder since 2017? Well, that's Australia. They won it Series 70, draw, Series 72, won it, and they draw. Let's go to the T20 World Cup. This is where it gets some semblance of hope. And they were just like so close. But England is the champion holder. Let's hope and pray that Australia loses. We got to come together. We're going to follow that. Any team playing Australia is my favorite team in that moment. Root for them over United States. That's how important this is. They must be stopped at all costs. Let's go to that. So we got one. We got one so far. The Women's Cricket World Cup. Who are the record holders for that? Australia. Let's just look down the line. 78. Australia. 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 How many times did they win? I said I'm not good at counting. 7. They've won over half of them, guys. Let's go to the Women's T20 World Cup. Who's won that? Australia. 6 out of the last 8 times. 6 out of the last 8 times, guys. Let's go to the Commonwealth Games. And this was like 2022. They didn't have a men's edition. They just had a women's edition. That's fine. That's fine. Who won that? Australia, beating India. We'll go to the Champions Trophy. Thank you, Pakistan. Pakistan. Anyone watching this video who's Pakistani, supports the Pakistani team, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are behind you 100%. Thank you, Pakistan, for beating. I know you beat India, but really, you beat Australia in this competition. And then India for that. Thank you, India. But before that, Australia 2 times. They're just in the way. And then who won the ICC Male Cricketer of the Year? Pat Cummins and his goofy bat there with all the colors and stuff. Can't stand it. And then recently, one of my friends on Instagram, sorry, I don't know your name, I'll give you a shout out in the comments, informed me that Glenn Maxwell went 120 for 55 in the second T20 against West Indies. Oh my goodness. I could have really gone without that information. Please don't tell me about these things. So these are all the things that Australia have won. 8 out of the 10. And the rest of the world, title holders in 2. But I got to trick up my sleeve. Australia, because indoor cricket. We're going to take a look at indoor cricket and see who is the title holders in indoor cricket. Let's take a look at this right now. Indoor Cricket World Cup. What do you think about this, Australia? What do you think about this? Okay. Let's take a look. This is the Cricket Indoor World Cup. You mean they've won every single competition? They've won every single one? Well, that's just the men. Let's look at the women. And the women too? Are you kidding me?